Good morning, everyone. It's Ann at Martin House Flowers. In this morning's video, I thought I'd just do a quick video to talk about a little bit about this heat we're having. As I was walking Eddie yesterday for his morning walk, even the Canada geese were taking a stroll to find a cool spot to lay their or paddle in. And just over there behind our friend's house is a pond, one of 13 ponds we have in our neighborhood. So if you like geese, get a pond. So here I am coming back from our walk, and I wanted to see what is thriving, surviving, and not doing very well with this heat. Passing the redbud tree that's doing well, we're coming up to my long rose bed, and the roses are loving this heat, I have to say. I did come in and do a fertilizer on one of the cooler days that is threefold. It's supposed to also protect from Japanese beetles and black spot, but ironically in my last video I did see a couple of Japanese beetles. I didn't see any the next day after I cleaned off some of the diseased leaves. That new dawn climbing rose is about to get its second flush. As you can see, there are blooms on the arch, and I noticed this morning a lot more stems sticking out. So there's Olivia Rose, the most prolific on this rose bed. Next to that is Arctic Blue, which is very pink. So as you can see on the left there's some roses, and up here on the arch also some beautiful buds, blooms of New Dawn. New Dawn is such a classic rose, and she has a very soft classic rose scent. Fairly disease resistant. I haven't noticed very many Japanese beetles on her, although when it gets into the heat of summer I will see some more. The zinnias. Zinnias are a very sun-loving annual cut flower. So they are thriving in this heat. And Eddie, I can't say he's thriving in this heat. We need to get out earlier in the mornings, although he sleeps in, so that's kind of tough. So, of course, hibiscus, Rose of Sharon, love the heat of the summer. They start to bloom in July. The same with these panicle hydrangeas. That's Bobo hydrangeas on the left. Now my little lime this year are struggling a little bit. I did notice some yellow leaves in there, so I think I need to give them a little more watering because they do get morning shade, afternoon sun here. Looks like I missed one of those ginormous weeds, and I had to get Greg to dig out with a shovel. So of my cut flowers, definitely cosmos and zinnias are just loving the heat. Tomatoes, of course, and my nasturtiums do quite well throughout the summer, and the marigolds. Marigolds love the summer heat. They start to reach upward and start their blooms in the heat of summer. Now cosmos, the only caveat is that you do have to keep up with deadheading them to continue that growth, and I do give them a little more water. I think I mentioned in previous videos I hand water my entire garden. Sunflowers are another sun-loving annual, so they're showing some significant growth ever since the heat kicked in. And surprisingly, this mammoth mix sweet pea variety is still surviving. I would call them surviving. I am seeing some beans. That means they're going to seed soon. And my shrubs here, they've had their second round already. That's bloomerang lilacs that get their second and third round. Now, although snapdragons are a cool flower, if you purchase seeds that are in the Potomac series, especially the lavender that I've shown you in the past, they are very heat tolerant, as well as snapdragons in groups 3 and 4 are bred for summer heat. This fairy tale fresco hydrangea is finally picking up some growth, and potentially I'll see some blooms this season. I'm really hoping. In my 3 containers on the patio with the obelisks, I've repeated the container that I did last year, filled with mandevilla, sweet potato vine, and dichondra silver falls. They thrive in this heat and will climb upward to the top of the obelisk. On the table, I have a couple smaller pots of vinca. They also love this heat as long as you keep them watered. You'll see some ageratum, the verbena we planted together in the urn. More snapdragons over here. And what a really beautiful surprise for me are those dahlias. Dahlias definitely like to bloom at the end of the summer, between July and August, depending if you pre-sprouted them as I did. And they will continue to bloom into fall, and they say even until the first frost. So I'm so thrilled about these dahlias. That's Joey Winnie over there. My little limes on the east side of the yard are doing really well over here, as well as those firelight tidbits. I'm finally seeing growth for the first time since I planted them last spring. So here are those alyssum I planted from seed and those beautiful, colorful portulaca. They are thriving in this heat. Now I do plan to continue fertilizing them if necessary and watering on a daily basis. Watering on a daily basis for your containers is absolutely essential, if not even watering twice a day, depending on the amount of heat you have. Hostas and hydrangeas need extra care and water in this heat. These are twist and shout lace cap hydrangeas. They are in their 3rd year, and earlier this month they were blooming just beautifully, and I noticed yesterday afternoon that they were starting to wilt and look dry. So I need to ramp up my watering and probably increase it to almost every day in this heat. And look at those endless summer hydrangeas. This is now the east side, and so with the morning sun, they're definitely showing some wilt, but they will spruce back up once I give them a little drink and when the shade hits them. And the last perennials that I want to share that are doing very well and are quite drought tolerant, especially once they get established, are not only my cat's pajama nepeta, but these different varieties of echinacea and purple coneflower. Once you get these perennials established, they will thrive and reseed themselves in your garden. Not to mention very low maintenance. So I hope you're staying cool in this heat of the summer, and I will see you in the next video.